Hey guys, it's Kim, and I'm talking today about The Invisible Life of Addie Larue by V.E. Schwab. This was my first time reading V.E. Schwab. I have never read her before. It just so happened that bookbesties.com and These Things I Love and ACESGC, I will tag all of them in this video so you can check out their Instagrams too, because they have got some great quotes from this book. ACES, These Things I Love, and Book Besties, we all did a buddy read of this book because we all somehow ended up with this book and we we're like, let's do a buddy read. And oh my God, it was so nice doing the buddy read and just having people to talk to about this book. I got this copy from Barnes & Noble. It is the signed copy, but as you can see from like carting it around, my dust jacket has gotten a little worse for wear. I don't know if it's a special Barnes & Noble edition. I just know it's the signed edition, so you might be able to find the same thing at Barnes & Noble. And on the hardcover, you can kind of see it when the light hits it, is the birds from a carving that Addie's dad did. And there's nothing on the back. So, but yeah, I love this book. We all unanimously agreed that it is a 5-star. We loved it. So this is a fantasy, but it doesn't really fit in any real genre. Like, it's not a romance. It's not a save the world. It's not I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's a personal growth journey. I don't know how you explain it, but it's amazing. Like, we all loved it. It is not, I will go ahead and warn you that it is not a happily ever after. So if you're one of those people who likes to have the HEA, this ain't your book. It's not a terrible ending. Like, the way people talked about it, I thought I was going to have my heart ripped out. And I mean, I kind of did, but not all the way. Had my heart partially ripped out. The main character is Addie, but there's also another main character, Henry, and we get some dual POV. And then there's another character, Luke, who I don't know how to describe him. That's one of the beautiful things about this book. So you'll have to decide who Luke is for yourself when you read the book. For me, he's not the hero, but he's not the bad guy either. So that's one of the things that I loved about this book. So what I loved is the writing style. The writing is absolutely beautiful and poetic, and like, it literally just like touches your heart. And I was trying to think, I mean, because obviously I read a lot of books. Like, I was trying to think, what is something writing style wise that I could compare this to? And the only thing I could think of is like poets, like Edgar Allan Poe and W.B. Yeats. Like, that's the closest thing I can think of to compare this, because the writing is just beautiful. It's beautiful. It's some of the most beautiful writing I have ever read. Yeah. There wasn't anything that I didn't like. So just kind of like a spoilery free review. The book is about this girl named Addie Larue, and she lives in a time like in the 1700s when women do not have rights and they don't have many choices in life. And in order to get out of a forced marriage, she makes a deal with this guy. You can't really say he's the devil. Like, you can't say, oh, it's as simple as she made a deal with the devil. It's not that simple. She makes a deal with a night god, and she gets what she wants, but it's not without a cost. And Addie walks through some things. Y'all know, you have heard me say that in order to get character growth, we have to go through things, right? It don't just happen from having this happy-go-lucky life that's sunshines, rainbows, and puppies. Like, in order to grow as a person, you have to walk through some pretty terrible things. And usually that's what happens in books, and that's what happens to Addie. And we go through those things with her. And it's not just the physical and emotional suffering, because there's plenty of that, but it's also her loss of innocence. And I don't mean in a sexual way. I mean of her soul. I mean the innocence of her soul. But she doesn't lose it completely, right? Like, I feel like that's kind of the beauty of Addie, is that even though she goes through these horrible things, she's always able to see the light and see the beauty still in the world. So, that's just one of the things I love. Also, okay, so we know she kind of made a deal with the night god, right? She spends hundreds of years living through this deal, curse, because sometimes she sees it as a curse. And she never gives up, never gives in, right? And then she meets this other person, and she does surrender. She doesn't surrender. We don't really know. That's part of the beauty of this book, is we don't really know, right? Because at first you think, oh, it's so beautiful. She's given up her deal for him. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And then you start thinking, now wait a minute. Did she really? Or was it all to manipulate and change the deal? Or was that just an added bonus? Like 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing. I can help this person and change my deal. Like, what, you know, that's what I love about it. It's because you don't know. I love, so you jump back and forth through time, obviously, because Addie has lived for hundreds of years. So you kind of jump back and forth through time. And at first I did not like it, because I didn't know what was going on. But at the end, once you realize what's going on, I loved it, because you're just kind of thrown into that memory, into that moment with Addie, or the person who's living that moment. I love that you don't know who to root for, kind of. Like, at first, you think Addie's the good guy, Luke is the bad guy, right? But just like Addie says in the book, that nothing is ever all good or all bad. Life is so much messier than that. And that's the truth, right? Because in life, it is usually not ever that cut and dry. It's usually not ever that easy, that, you know, good versus evil, black and white. It's usually, it doesn't work that way, right? So I love that in this book, you don't really know. The only thing you know for sure is Henry's a good guy. That's about all you know. And the rest is kind of left up to interpretation. And I love that. I love that it makes me question my own morality and my own conscience, and go, well, you know, what does that say about you? If you, and I'm saying this to myself, what does that say about you if you think this person's the good guy and this person's the bad guy, or vice versa, or you're not sure how you feel? Then what does that say about you and your own morality and your own conscience? So I love that this book is so thought-provoking and really made me think about myself. And some people might not like that, right? Like, if you're one of those people who reads to kind of check out and you don't want to think, because if you spend all day thinking, this might not be your book. But if you're one of those people who wants to have your brain tickled, this is for you. Some of my favorite quotes from the book, and it kind of ends on it's not a cliffhanger, but it's just kind of you don't really know how it ends, right? It's kind of left open. Which, again, I don't mind, because my imagination can think what I want it to think. So some of my favorite quotes, which if you've been on my Instagram, you've probably seen. One of them is, "The darkness is no place to be alone." Another is, "Ideas are wilder than memories." Another one is, "You're incredible and strong and stubborn and brilliant, but I think it's safe to say you're never going to be normal." And who wants to be, right? Normal's boring. And then my other one that I love, "Nothing is all good or all bad. Life is so much messier than that." And Addie, if that is not the truth, honey, that is like the truest statement any of us have heard in all our years on this earth. So, I loved it. Like I said, we unanimously said 5 stars. So I loved it. I hope you read it. I hope you love it. Like I said, it's just, the writing is just beautiful. I just love this book. Like, it literally makes me want to go read all the rest of V.E. Schwab's books. So thanks, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.